I don't want to be live. I don't like these circumstances. Hello, everyone on YouTube. Drew, Tyler, Jack. We're standing outside the worst building in the United States of America, the House of Horrors, Lucas Oil Stadium. It got Kentucky again, losing a second straight heartbreaking tournament loss in this damn place, this time to the Vols. The damn Vols got us, and they're sending us home, ending Mark Pope's first season. A beloved team, a fan favorite team, but the end of the road was here in Indy. Tennessee absolutely dominated throughout the game. There's one positive, wasn't a lot up to guessing, nothing to blame. Kentucky just got whooped tonight, and it sucks. We're headed home. We're going to break it down for a little bit, kind of recap the season, maybe try to leave with a smile. But, Jack, I'll start with you. Right now, there's not much to smile about after we just watched that game inside.
It sucked. It really, really sucked. I'm now 0-4 in this godforsaken city. It just never felt like Kentucky had a chance. They were uncomfortable from the opening tip. Tennessee, I mean, you got to give credit to their game plan. I mean, they ran Kentucky off the three-point line. They attacked the glass like anything we've seen. It was unbelievable. It was a really, really strong performance that led to a really, really weak performance for Kentucky. They weren't making shots. Really slow start. It was just kind of one of those deals where, like you said, Drew, you just knew very early that it was not Kentucky. Weird, random guys on Tennessee hitting shots that never make shots. You just kind of get that vibe. Chaz Lanier starting to heat up a little bit. You're like, all right, it just might not be our day. And unfortunately, it led to a pretty heartbreaking finish.
Kentucky had their number twice in the regular season. We all know the story, but in both of those games, Kentucky was hot from three. They went 12 of 24 in both those games, shooting 50%. Tonight, nowhere near that. Only got 15 attempts, made 6 of those. Oddly, Lamont Butler was 4 for 5, not even really a shooter on the team, did most of the three-point shooting. Kobe Brea hit his first one, missed his next 3, but just the 15 attempts alone tells the story when three-point shooting won the game, and Lexington and Knoxville certainly didn't have that here tonight. Tyler, I mean, Kentucky led for 30 seconds, I think, at the beginning of the game, but as we've been talking, I mean, I'm sure you felt the same as everyone else. It just didn't feel right from the start.
No, it just kind of felt like you were watching a nightmare in slow-mo. I mean, even in the second half, Kentucky just couldn't close the gap. They couldn't get closer than it felt like 13 points. Like, I felt like I would look up at the scoreboard and it would still be 13 points or 15 points. It's really depressing. I mean, credit to Tennessee, blah, blah, blah. But Kentucky just could not get any good shots. I mean, it was just really hard watching them try. I mean, every single shot it felt like was contested. And it's just, of the 4 scenarios that could have happened tonight, you could have had blowout Tennessee or blowout Kentucky win, close Kentucky win, close Tennessee win, blowout Tennessee win. I just didn't expect this. I mean, it's one thing to lose to a team in the Sweet 16. It's one thing to lose to your rival, but to lose to them by that much and have it be that lopsided throughout the game, I mean, it just, we'll talk about the season as a whole, I'm sure, here in a few minutes, but I don't want it to put a damper on the end of the season, but man, that was just such a crappy way for it to end.
Yeah, we know Tennessee is a good defensive team, one of the best in the country. Held Kentucky to 20 points below their average, if my math is right. That's not good, but it didn't help that Tennessee was scoring at will. Kentucky gave up 43 points in the first half to Tennessee that averages in the low 70s. I mean, just a horrible performance on both ends of the court. Jack, rebounding was terrible throughout the game. I didn't see the final numbers, but I assume Tennessee won the glass by at least 10, especially early. I mean, just getting offensive rebounds. Kentucky could not get anything going. It was an all-systems failure, as I see it, outside of a few, people trying to have some moments here and there, like Butler knocking down threes. Owe had a little bit of a stretch, but overall, it's just all bad.
Yeah, I think Lamont's effort was good. I think Amari got a little... I think the magnitude and the reality kind of hit him there at the very end, where he just kind of said, all right, well, this is my last run. I'm going to try to take this game over. Started doing a little bit too much, but you could tell his heart was in it. Outside of that, you did kind of question, how invested they were in the energy just kind of felt off there, especially just attacking the glass and 50-50 balls, loose balls. It just kind of felt like the want to was there a little bit harder. And again, like, it's hard to, again, when you're looking at Tennessee's perspective and you lose the 2 games leading up to this, you get embarrassed the way they did. You get
All right, take 2. We'll patch this together. I don't know where that crapped out. Just add it to this night that sucks. Hell, I might get hit by a car at this point. Everything is going wrong. I think we just got to the point where we were talking about the locker room. Forgive me if I'm repeating myself. We'll pick back up there. Jack, worst part of the job. You had to do it tonight. Going in that losing locker room after they just played their final game, it is always a brutal scene. We have so much fun for most of the year, but that is easily the hardest part of the job. I can't imagine it was any easier tonight.
So I've been there for Oscar Tshiebwe's heartbreak where he's turned away and facing, toward the locker and just complete silence, towel over his head, heartbreaking. Was there last year for Reed Sheppard, sobbing, that's as heartbreaking as it gets when you watch Reed Sheppard in that moment losing to Oakland. But this was a different kind of pain because I think they all know that they maybe, I don't want to say overachieved, but they met expectations in terms of meeting, the historic goals, the 8, top 15 wins and all the fun things, the highs of this season. And I think that just the reality of that kind of set in, and it was a heartbreaking feeling. It was a shock in Oakland. It was a shock with Oscar Tshiebwe's season ending against Kansas State, career ending at Kansas State. This was a heartbreak that, as they're talking about the nostalgia and the memories and what this team was able to accomplish and what they did, it was that you kind of got the choked up and the eyes starting to water and the red eyes, and you could just see the weight of the world kind of crashing down, and that's where it got really, really sad, and you just felt so bad for them because all of them are great kids. Every single one of them. It's an unbelievable locker room. They all care about each other. You say, what was your favorite part? It was like being with this guy and that guy, and I loved him, and they all loved each other so much, and that was just a really devastating way to end a really devastating night for Kentucky. I hate being in there. I hate it, but they really appreciated this moment. I think that was the overall takeaway. They loved wearing that jersey.
This is not a great time to tell you about SeatGeek, but we have obligations. I'm going to put a smile on my face. If you would like to do anything other than watch basketball, there are 70,000 events. Go see Creed at Rupp Arena in May. Do anything to get your mind off basketball. Hell, come boo Tennessee on Sunday if you want, but go to an event, go to a concert, go to baseball. Find anything. The tournament's over. Just find something to distract you. SeatGeek, promo code KSR, 10% off your tickets. SeatGeek, we love you. We wish we were doing more SeatGeek rapid reactions, but the road ends here. Unfortunately, this will be our last rapid reaction for a while. SeatGeek, KSR promo code 10. Thanks for being with us on the ride, SeatGeek. Tyler, back to the misery. Smile, go away. Thank you, SeatGeek. We did the press conference outside at the stage with Pope, Butler, Brea, and Carr. They had just come from the locker room. I mean, we were a little bit away, and you could see those eyes. They're a little red. Had been doing some crying. It's not any easier out there. What were your takeaways from those post-game conversations?
Yeah, I think it's a credit to all these guys' character that they're clearly upset. They had clearly been crying, but even they found some moments of levity. Kobe Brea, who was clearly visibly upset. They were talking about what this season has meant to them, what it's meant to them to play at Kentucky, and he said, I don't know who's in charge of jerseys, but they're going to have trouble getting mine back. And Andrew Carr said the same thing, that he didn't want to untie his shoes, he didn't want to take off his jersey because they just wanted to live in this a little longer. And these guys, they're just great. And I think there's a viral video going around of Mark Pope and Lamont Butler kind of comforting each other in the tunnel after the game, and just, it kills you. But I mean, Lamont is awesome. At the end of the press conference, there were no more questions. He leans into the mic and says, "Can I just say something?" He said, I'm so proud to be able to be part of the group that set the culture here under Mark Pope in his first year, and talked about how much he loved Pope and how excited he is for what Pope is building at Kentucky. And Andrew Carr doubled down on that and leaned in and kind of gave Pope a transfer portal promo. He was like, if you're in the portal, if you're looking for a spot to go to Kentucky, pick Kentucky, you won't regret it. So, I mean, I hate that we're having to already have these reflecting moments about what awesome group this is, but they left us with a great reminder of that at the end of the press conference.
Yeah, it's a hard way to end. We're going to miss these guys. Lamont, like she said, that was very cool at the end when he chimed in. I love how he was like, can I say something? Of course you can say something.
Lamont Butler.
If there was an MVP for Kentucky, it was him. Even late in the game, you're down 15, and he's still out there trying to get steals. Like I said, went 4 for 5 from 3. He gave it his all. We're going to miss him. We're going to miss all the guys. We'll have plenty of time to recap the season as a whole, but just briefly while we're out here with this lady yapping behind us from Lucas Oil Stadium, it's going to be living in my brain forever. I hope you all can't hear it. Jack, let's try to put a little bow on the year as a whole. I say it's still positive. Got over the hump in the tournament. Didn't want to lose to a Tennessee team. That's a tough pill to swallow. We'll have to live with that for a while. But the 8 top 15 wins over AP, or 8 wins over AP top 15 opponents. You beat Duke, you beat Louisville, you beat a good Florida team who could win the whole damn thing. All in all, pretty good run by Mark Pope's first year. What do you say about it?
Hey, Like, you can't convince me that this was not an A grade when you factor in. I hate that guy. I really do just
That
hate
guy's
that guy.
wearing a leopard shirt on a scooter, and he's telling we suck.
Anyway,
Come back here,
to Mark
sir.
Pope being a grade A.
I will commit a crime
That guy
on
is a
YouTube.
grade A jackass. Anyway, when you factor in the injuries, when you factor in how tiny the window was for him to put together this roster, it takes 6 weeks, and he basically has to adjust on the fly and say, hey, I know there's no proven sample size of what I am as a head coach, especially not at the University of Kentucky, but just trust me. And the way he handpicks every single one of these guys and gets them to fit together the way they do and get the highs of the Duke and the Gonzaga and the Louisville and just go down the list, every high moment that you wanted as a fan, you got. And you even, you get getting the monkey off your back with getting back to the second weekend, and so many little things that we were just craving as a fan base. He gave back, considering the overcoming the odds, the adversities with the injuries. There was so much that he was able to overcome that I will never look back on this season as anything but an unbelievable positive.
I'll add to that real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
There we go.
We're going to get 3 mics next season. We're going to get in the budget.
Really just rocking this last rapid reaction. But I think just to add to what Jack said, I think the fact that we had an extra week to have fun and just go to a Sweet 16 again and remember how fun that was. I mean, before the game, it was so fun to see Jack and Steven experiencing this, and it's fun for me and Drew. We've been here before.
Look at that smile.
I know. I mean, you can't even take the smile off his face. But yeah, just having one more week with this group. We had the Weetabix thing. That was really fun.
Speaking of, still got a little more pocket Weetabix left.
Some to take you home.
Anybody want some?
Oh, I'm okay.
Why is it in the tissue?
My hotel tissue. Sorry, keep talking, Tyler, but some Weetabix for the road.
Yeah,
You're
some
going to get
Weetabix.
arrested. That cop is going to come over here and arrest you.
I've had 7 full bars of Weetabix. I don't know what that's going to do to my body. Anyway, carry on.
But yeah, I mean, without the last Sunday night, we wouldn't have been able to enjoy Weetabix for another week. So shout out to Weetabix. I hope they've enjoyed all this promotion.
Yeah.
I'll have some. Why not?
Yeah, get in there.
Why?
I'm going to leave us with 2 hopes. One, I hope that guy that yelled Kentucky sucks runs a scooter into a stick and he falls on his face. 2, I hope you all can hold your head high. Losing to Tennessee sucks, but as Jack and Tyler just said, all in all, pretty good first year for Mark Pope. Lamont Butler set it inside. They set a high bar for the next group. We got a little time. This stuff's so dry. It's so dry.
I can't even process what's in my mouth right now.
We're not here to talk about portal additions now, but they got one today. Cam Williams, we'll worry about that later. Lots more to come. But for right now, we're going to sign off from Lucas Oil Stadium. Easily the worst place in America. Not even close. And this lady will not stop yapping. But for Drew, Tyler, Jack, Steven behind the camera, SeatGeek, we appreciate you. We wish... Let me turn. We wish we had more time left in us, more road to go in the NCAA tournament, but it ends here at the hands of the Vols. We're going to shut it down. This was the appropriate rapid reaction. Bye. Go Cats. Love you all.